Hello everyone, welcome back. You're watching the Digital Labs. My name is Dilip. In this series of tutorial, we are learning how to develop a fully automated data entry form in Google Sheet and Google Apps Script. So this series has 4 different parts, and we have already covered form design, validating inputs, and transferring data from form to database sheet in part 1, and searching records in part 2. So this is the third part of tutorial where we will write the code to edit the existing records. Okay, so let's move to the actual project and see all the features we have already covered in first part and second part of the tutorial, and after that we will start writing the code to edit the existing record. Okay, so this is the actual data entry form on which we are working now, and in first part of tutorial we have covered the form designing, button creation, and writing the Google Apps Script code to validate and transferring the data from this form to database sheet. And in second part of tutorial we covered Google Apps Script function search the existing record basis on the employee ID updated in this particular field, and then clicking on search. Okay, let's move to the Google Apps Script window. So just to move to Google Apps Script window, just click on tools and click on script editor. Once you click on script editor, it will open a separate tab for Google Apps Script window. Okay, so here you can see that we have already covered a function that is called validate entry, which we covered in first part. With the help of this validate entry function, we are validating all the inputs provided by user, and once validation comes true, basically, then what we are doing, we are transferring the data from Google Sheet, basically the Google form, and to database sheet. Okay, with the help of this function that is called submit data. And in second part of tutorial we just covered a function that is called search record. So what we are doing, we are utilizing this particular function to search a record with the help of employee ID. Okay, so let's start writing the code to edit the record. So here we will start writing the code. So let's first put a comment over here. So here we are going to write the function to edit the record. So function to edit the record, and the function will always start with the function keyword. So this is function, and the function name would be edit record. Okay, open bracket and close bracket, and then we will start with the curly braces, and let's create some room. Okay, now we need to declare a variable so that we can refer the active workbook, the active Google Sheet, basically, that is the employee data entry form. So let's declare a variable var, and the variable name will be my Google Sheet is equal to spreadsheet app dot get active spreadsheet, and then open and close bracket, and then put semicolon to break this line. Okay, well, with the help of this variable, what we are doing, we are referring the employee data entry form. And let's declare a couple of variables so that we can refer the user form and database sheet. So first of all, we will write the code or write the variable to refer the user form. So var, and the variable name would be sh user form, and as sh user form is available in the employee data entry form, so let's utilize this my Google sheet dot get sheet by name, and here we need to pass the worksheet name. So the worksheet name is user form. Let's put semicolon to break this line, and let's copy this line of code here again, and we will replicate this for the database sheet. So let's change the variable name, so data sheet, and here the input parameter would be database. So we have done with declaring two variables, and that is user form and database sheet. Let's so in this function we will utilize the alert function. So for that we need to declare a variable to initialize the user interface basically. So let's declare a variable var, and that is the user interface, and then UI is equal to spreadsheet app dot get UI. So, okay, now like suppose we are showing an alert asking a user to confirm whether user wants to transfer the data or edit the data. So in that way we need to store the response from the user. So for that we need to declare one more variable, that would be var response, and the response would be UI dot alert, and then here edit, then put comma here, do you want to edit the record, and we need to show different two different buttons. So UI dot button set, and the button set would be yes no. Okay, let's put semicolon to break this line. So in response we have stored the user response basically. So suppose user wants to user has selected or clicked on no button, so in that way we just need to come out from this function and no need to proceed ahead. And if user will select yes, then we will move to the other lines of code and execute all those functionality, right? So let's check if response is equal to UI dot button dot no. So if user has clicked on no, then what we need to do, we need to come out from this function. So return and then semicolon. So this line of code is to exit from this function. Okay, suppose user has selected yes, it means like Google app script will surpass or bypass this function, this line of code, and will start executing from here. So here we need to declare a variable to store the employee ID, the search like which user wants to search basically. So var str, and we will initialize it this variable with sh user form, and on get range, and the employee ID which we are searching is available in C4. So C4 dot get value, open and close bracket. So I'm getting the search item, that is employee ID. So we have stored the employee ID which user is looking for. Okay, now we need to declare a variable that would be multi-dimensional array, so that we can assign all the ranges which has been utilized in database sheet. Okay, it means all the records which are available in database sheet. Okay, so var, and then the variable name would be values, and for values here data sheet dot get data range dot get values. So what it will do, it will assign all the range where data has been updated basically. Now we need to declare a variable, one more variable, and that would be for boolean type basically. So it will help us in identifying whether values have been found or not. So initially the value of that variable will be false. So let's var, and the values found, so the name of that variable would be values found, and we will initialize with false. Okay, so now we have done with almost declaring all the required variables. Let's start using for loop. So for, and then var I is equal to 0. So the initial value of I would be 0, and I is less than values dot length. Okay, so the length of values, the multi-dimensional array would be total number of records basically. Okay, so here values dot length, and we need to increase the value of I, so I plus plus, and then Now we need one more variable to store the first element of each record. So var, so row value, and the row value would be values. Okay, and here we will check row value, and the row value, the first element will be always start with 0, so the position basically. So here 0, so the row value, it means it will assign the record to row value, and here we are validating the first element is equal to str. Okay, this variable, if both the value are equal, then we can say that okay, the user looking for employee ID is available in the record set, the data basically. Okay, so in that case we need to assign the row number for that particular record. So let's declare a variable again, var, and then variable would be iRow. iRow would be I plus 1. So we have done with identifying the row number. Here let's utilize this row number to update the data. So we need to update the data in database sheet. So data sheet dot get range, and the range here we need to pass the row number, so that is iRow, and then comma we need to pass we need to update starting from employee ID. So we will not update the employee ID here. Okay, so 2 dot set value sh user form dot get range, and the employee name is available in C9, so here C9, and dot get value. Okay, so this is for employee name. Let's copy this line of code, and we need to replicate this for gender, then email ID, department, and then address. So let's quickly change the comment here. So that is for gender, and this is for email ID, and then department, address. Okay, so we have done with the comments. Let's change the reference. So the column position would be this one, 3, 4, 5, 6, and here C9 and C11, 13, 15, and 17. So we are done with updating the records. Now we have two different columns which are pending. One is submitted on, and the second one is submitted by. These are the last two columns available in database worksheet. So let's copy this line of code, the last one, and replicate it for submitted on, and the column position would be 7. Here we just need to remove this parameter, and here we need to assign new date, basically new date. And now we have assigned the new date to this 7 column, basically 7th column. Let's change the format. So set number formats for that particular cell, and that would be YYYY hyphen mm hyphen dd, then space h colon mm. And this is, let's remove this comments because we have already written over here. So let's copy the line of code, and that would be submitted by. So let's change this, submitted by, and the submitted by is available in last column, that is 8. Let's remove this parameter, all this, and here we need to update the employee ID. So we can retrieve the employee ID from session. So let's sessions dot get active user, and then dot get email ID. So this is done for submitted by. Now what we need to do, we need to prompt a message that okay, the data has been transferred. So let's utilize the UI variable which we have already declared. Okay, so UI dot alert data updated. Okay, we have done with transferring the data. Now we need to clear the forms. So for that, let's start writing the code. So sh user form dot get range and c4 dot clear. Okay, so this is for the employee ID which we are searching. And the next, so let's replicate this for employee ID which is in our input range, and then employee name, then gender, then email ID, then department, and then address. Let's quickly align this, all these codes. So C4, C7, C9, 11, 13, 15, 17. So now we are done with clearing the forms. So here, so we have found the value and updated the records. So we need to change the value of boolean type variable, that is values found, that would become true. Okay, and we need to come out from this function. Suppose the employee ID which we are looking is not available on the data set. So in that case we need to prompt a message that okay, do no record found. So, and in that case the values found will remain as it is, that will be false. So let's, if values found is equal to false, it means the data which we are looking in database is not available. So here we need to prompt a message UI dot alert and then no record found. So we are done with writing the code. Let's copy the function name, Control C, and move to the employee data entry form Google Sheet, and let's select this modify button and let's click on the triple dots available and click on assign script, and then Control V to paste this name and click on OK. So now we have done with assigning the script on modify button. Let's move to the database worksheet, and here you can see that we have only one record and the employee ID for that particular record is 123. So let's put this 123 here to in a search item, that is employee ID, and click on search. So now you can see that it has provided all the details available for employee ID, that is 123. And now what we need to do, we need to make some amendment in dataset. So let's what I'm going to do, I'm going to change the department. So currently it's reflecting technology, so let's make it quality. Okay, and then click on modify. So you can see that there is an alert which is asking, do you want to edit the record. So we have two choices, either we can click on no and click on yes. So if you will click on no, then it will come out from this the function, that is edit, and it will not perform any action. But in case you click on yes, then what it will do, it will make the changes. So I think there is a error. The parameter null numbers do not match get range. I think we have some. Okay, so I think we have we need to close this curly braces not here basically, and then we need to close this curly braces over here. So let's save this and go to the employee and modify, and then click on yes and data updated. So dismiss. So this is all about the third part of the tutorial. Please refer the description box to find the link of first and second part of tutorials. Thanks for watching. Let's move on to the next part of tutorial. Have a great day. Bye bye.